and I just go to grab his hand out of affection and whatever. And he snatches his hand away.
Snatch is not
He
the appropriate
snatched
word.
his hand away.
Snatch is not the
He
appropriate
snatched his
word,
hand away.
but-
So I looked, I said, oh, if any of you guys know me. Love you, boo. Why didn't you tell me you liked me? Why couldn't you come and tell me you liked me yourself? Why'd you have to tell my girl you liked me?
And so I was just like, oh, she caught me off guard, you know? And so I was like, man, I just didn't want to mess things up, you know, try to be as professional as I possibly could. And, man, we went in the club, man. And I remember just beautifully putting my arm around her and I felt the magic, man.
That was it?
That was it, y'all, for real. Just
That
like
was
that. That night we knew something special was happening. And in fact, that night I think we took the cab back or someone dropped us off. Shaunnie lived, y'all, if those of you who've been to Howard, you know they're at the towers, okay? There's the east side and the west side. She lived on the east side, I lived on the west side.
Right.
And we got dropped off. We were together at this point. And she was supposed to be going to the east side to her home. And I really just wanted to spend as much time as I could with Shaunnie. So we got to the front of the towers and it was like, you choose. And I was trying to be a gentleman, man, but she kind of made her motion to go to the east side and I grabbed her hand and I was like, I want you to come with me, you know, kind of thing. And yeah, so we went and studied, y'all, you know, at my apartment. We just, after that day, that night.
We have not been apart. Literally, from that day until today, we have not been apart. We went to each other's classes. I went to his classes on some days. He went to my classes on some days, but we never separated. He had finals. I went with him to take his finals. I had finals. He went with me to take my finals.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very true.
we were inseparable.
Yeah, literally we would walk on campus and, you know, my friends would be coming up to her like, hey man, what'd you do to this guy? Like, how'd you get him to be so like docile and we'd be walking around campus, you know, holding your hand and stuff like that.
Well, let's talk about the hold hand thing. So this is the day after Mr. Henry's. And we decided at that point that we were going to be together or whatever. So we're walking on campus. And I think we were going to the cafeteria to get something to eat or something like that. So anyway, we're walking outside. And naturally, not trying to make any big statement, I just go to grab his hand out of affection and whatever. And he snatches his hand away.
Snatch is not
He
the appropriate
snatched
word.
his hand away.
Snatch is not the
He
appropriate
snatched his
word,
hand away.
but-
So I looked, I said, oh, if any of you guys know me, any of you guys know me, you know how I went in. So I said, I know you didn't just snatch your hand away from me. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just a reaction. You know, I usually don't hold girls' hands on campus, but you know, I'm sorry. So he grabbed my hand.
Know.
I let that one slide because he immediately grabbed my hand and he hasn't let it go since then.
Y'all know, look, I haven't let it go. This is for real. We drive cars and stuff doing this. Listen, that was very fast. She told you that was the night after Mr. Henry's. The day after Mr. Henry's. So that was kind of fast, y'all. So I'm like, man, we're holding hands and hugged up on campus and stuff, you know, but it felt so right. I couldn't deny what was going on. So I just had to go with it. I've been that kind of person. I always truly fight for what I feel God is putting in front of me, you know, and I try to be true to it. Even if I have to struggle through it, I try to keep it real. And so that's what we did, man. And literally, like she said, we were inseparable. Shaunnie, I don't think had ever been in the music department at Howard.
Never.
But I tell you what, everybody knew who she was now because she would but she would accompany me to all of my classes. I mean, like she said, taking tests, taking finals and all that.
And he would be at all of my bisonet rehearsals, all my dance rehearsals. He would be there. He would be at all of my classes.
It was worse than that, y'all. Not just the bisonet rehearsals, okay? These are all the dances at Howard. But literally, I would go to the basketball games where they used to dance. And I was sitting with the bisonets. It got so bad. It got so bad that one time Shaunnie was performing and she's in the center, you know, and she's doing this spin and all this stuff and she slips and everybody
Everyone
in the
in the
stadium
gym. Oh my
points to
God.
me.
It makes this big sound.
Yeah, they're like, oh, and they point to me, not her. That was the craziest thing. I didn't realize so many people knew that we were together, you know. And that just showed me like how powerful our relationship was, and how so many people admired that relationship. We're both very kind of private,
Yeah.
and we didn't go around showing ourselves off at what we were doing, but
People obviously notice.
people noticed. So my frat brothers would even come to my room and say, dude, why y'all trying to play games, man? What's going on? You know, they were like, yo, because Shaunnie would come over and just like clean my place, like spotless, you know, and she would cook for me. They would come over there and be like, yo, something is going on. And we told you about my good friend Ed Sneed. He even said, he was like, Kurt, man, I don't know what you're doing, boy, but that looked like your wife right there, man. He was like, look, I'm gonna come beat you up, man, if you don't marry this girl. So
Aw, thank you, Ed.
and man, from there, the rest is just history. I mean, we really have we made that commitment to each other, and the rest is history. So we really wanted to come together to share with you how we met, because we promised that we would. But we also wanted to shed some light on this, because a lot of young people, I was 19 years old, by the way, y'all.
Right, because he started college at Howard when he was 16.
Yeah, again,
So,
not because I'm smart, but
he's brilliant.
because
this is a brilliant black man.
I did some things a little earlier than a lot of people and kind of pushed myself. But we were so young, and I had a lot of people bringing negativity to me. Hey, don't do this. You know, you're in the music business. You know, you got all these years to do this and do that. And, you know, I just really, I knew, I heard from God so clearly. And I shared this with my wife, like the second day we were together. I heard from God clearly where he was placing us. You know, I really, really did. And she said that
The same thing happened with me, with him. I heard, mine was more of an alarm, like a warning. Like, this is the guy you were supposed to marry. It wasn't words, but it was a feeling. It was more profound than words spoken to me. And it was a warning sign, like, this is it. And if you don't, it seemed like my life would have been jacked up. I don't know, but I just knew that this is who I was supposed to be with. And that confirmation, just, I could have walked in fear from it, or I could have walked in faith, but I'm a faith walker. And so I went with it. I've always wanted to be in a committed relationship. And this guy was just so different. You know, he was much younger. I never dated anyone younger than me. He was so much younger than anyone else that I've ever dated. But he was so much more mature in his, just spiritually. He was so much more in tune. He was just in tune spiritually, which was, you know, a lot of college guys are not there, you know. So much so that he and his family are the ones who really inspired me to come to Christ. And or led me, you know, really, you know, that connection with God, the Holy Spirit, is really what draws you. But they were definitely vessels used to bring me to Christ. And it was their lifestyle. It was nothing they were preaching. It was just the spirit that exuded from him. And he's a very loving person. And looking at him, you know, I'm just
Beauty and the Beast, y'all.
I'm just blessed, because he's physically, looking at him, you would think he would be a totally different person. Yes, he's very attractive, and he's athletically built, and you know, he had a lot of swag, and he's got a lot of street smarts. You know, I love that. I love to feel like I'm protected, like a man can protect me. That is so attractive to me. Like, I'm safe with a guy that I'm with, and he definitely exuded that even before we were dating. And so that was very attractive to me. And he was very, very masculine. That's always very attractive to me. But he was also had this other very true side of him. And he was not afraid of it, intimidated by it, or shy about being or expressing it. So this love that was in him was very natural. You know, he was just a good person. And he was an artist. Like, this guy is so talented. It's absolutely unbelievable.
I paid her to say that.
No, he is absolutely out of this world. He is a classically trained pianist. His skills on percussion is off the chain. Technically, with production and software and equipment and all that kind of stuff, he stays on top of the game. He's just really an inspiration. You know, he's an inspiration. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I'm saying he's perfect. He is perfect for me.